So going back to when you were still not arrested yet, you were working in the drug scene. What was it like to have that kind of escalating energy where I know your gang rival at the time was Sammy the Bull Gravano, who was an underboss for the Gambino family, as I understand. And he sent one of his guys to, I guess, just knock the teeth out of one of your guys. And then you also got, shortly after that, you got followed in a car. And I actually saw this on your episode of Banged Up Abroad I watched on National Geographic. It's called Raving Arizona, I believe. Yeah. And what was that like to just kind of feel that escalating energy? Because it started out kind of small. Just there was the guys, I think they were just junkies looking for money when they showed up at your house when your parents were over watching a film.
Getting into the drugs business was a slow thing. It's like I fell into it. I was on drugs at the time, and I was just showing off, giving my friends pills for free. Now, when you start giving away pills for free, you attract a lot of friends.
Yeah.
So then, like I said earlier, I started to see the business potential of it. Greed and ego is taking over. When I quit the stockbroking and we did these early experiments of buying 1,000 pills here, 1,000 pills there, they were just going like that the weekends. And this was the beginning of the organization. But there wasn't much danger present at that point. It was like, we were all just like, you know, if you're on ecstasy, you're all sat around smiling and hugging each other, and all you want to do is dance and go out and have a good time. And what happens is, as you get deeper into the drugs lifestyle, then you start to bump heads with more serious entities. So at the peak of it, we were bumping heads with Sammy the Bull Gravano, underboss of the Gambino crime family. I learned that we were in competition with Sammy the Bull Gravano when all these big steroid head jock characters started to show up at the raves. And I'm thinking, who the hell are these guys, you know, stepping on our toes?
Yeah.
Because I'd locked all the local people down. Now, my wife at the time, she had a lesbian lover, and her lesbian lover was going out with one of these guys as well, one of these big steroid head jock guys.
And they're all Italian, correct? Italian.
Or Italian descent, or some of them were just like big university jocks or weightlifters. And then there was also the white supremacist clique called the Devil Dogs.
And they worked for them?
Yeah, they were all Sammy the Bull's people. The Devil Dogs, they would beat the shit out of people and bark like dogs while they were doing it. Yeah.
Talking about that pack mentality again.
Yeah. So my wife's lesbian lover is going out with one of these guys, and he asks her to ask my wife if I will meet them. I still don't know who they are, so I'm extremely curious. So I go to this bar, I take one of my bouncers, he's got a gun. So I walk in with my wife, the bouncer comes in behind us, they don't know the bouncer's with us. They take us to this back room where this huge guy just tells everyone to get off the sofa, clears the room out, and we sit down. My bouncer kind of like sneaks into an area where he can watch us, he's got the gun. Because I don't know if these guys are going to try and kidnap me, take me out to the desert or what. So he's ready, you know, to do something if they try and kidnap me. So there was a shorter guy called the Spaniard, and there was this huge guy. And the Spaniard, he was talking to me in quite a normal voice. And they said that they were getting a lot of pills, and why don't I start distributing their pills and working with them? Now, I was getting my pills out of Holland. I sent people out there with testing kits from Dance Safe. The pill will go like a purple blue color, and that means it's got like, you know, pure MDMA.
High potency drug.
Well, it's a clean pill, because a lot of the pills these days, because drugs are illegal, these counterfeiters and gangsters will put any old ingredient in the pill.
Just fillers.
Yeah, and that's why you see sometimes a lot of people die at a festival. That's not real E, because that many people can't die from real E at one festival. That's because of these counterfeit substances. Now, sometimes those counterfeit pills are coloured. My pills were beige or white.
Mm.
So
Is it true you, sorry to interrupt, you had like a Batman logo or something?
there was on one time we did have the Batman logo,
Okay.
yeah. So they're trying to sell me these coloured pills. And I'm saying, I send people to Holland to get pure pills. I'm not getting any of your coloured pills. I don't know what's in them. Then the big guy jumps up off the sofa. Who the fuck do you think you are disrespecting our pills? Don't you know who we work for? One call to Sammy the Bull and we can have you taken out to the desert. So now I'm thinking, are these guys just spouting off, or is this the case? And it wasn't long before the peace didn't last. And they lured my top sales guy, Skinner, to a nightclub in Scottsdale under the pretext of doing a drug deal. Mm. Told him to go in the men's room, knocked his teeth out, took all of his pills, took all of his money. And I thought, right, this is getting heavy now because this is reaching my inner circle of people. My thing was, if the police arrest any of the inner circle, anything bad happens to the inner circle, I'm next. So I moved approximately 100 miles over to Tucson. I'm in $1 million house in the side of a mountain. And to get into that community, Sinvacus, you've got to go through a guard at a barrier and he has to call the house to even let you up the street. So that gave me an added degree of security at that point in time. But again, in response to your question, it started out just having fun with my friends, showing off, buying them pills. 2, being one of the biggest ecstasy importers in the country, rivaling Sammy the Bull Gravano. And now these guys are coming after me. My life is on the line.
And that house in Tucson, was that where you were on the 16th of May?
No, I was in Scottsdale.
Okay, so you moved again.
Yeah, I kept moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many more times did you move after that? Was it so you went Tucson and then to Scottsdale?
Okay, this is like late 1990s now. Mm. I was paying rents. I mean, my monthly bills are about 30 grand. I was paying rents on, I can't even remember how many apartments and cars. So I could just rotate and do whatever I wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. And on May the 16th, 2002, when you were in Scottsdale?
May 16th, 2002, I was in Scottsdale living with Claudia at this point because me and my wife had separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when the SWAT team came, yeah?
That's when the SWAT team came, yeah.
And what was that like, getting your door knocked down by the SWAT team? How many guys were there, would you estimate, that came in?
May 16th, 2002, I get up early, I'm on the computer, because I'd quit the importation now a year ahead. I thought I got away with it. Mm. Claudia talked me out of it. She pointed out the risks. So what happened was, I'm on the computer, looking at the stock market. Next thing I hear this vibration, and it's the stairs, all these boots coming up the stairs outside the apartment. Mm. Then, bam, 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 bam. Tempe police, we have a warrant, open the door. So I don't know if it's the police or someone just pretending to be the police come to rob me. Mm. So I jump up, look out the people, it's blacked out. But when I look out the window, then I know I'm screwed because the whole complex is surrounded. Police cars, marksmen with rifles, SWAT team. I'm thinking, all right, can I jump out the back? No, that's not going to work. Can I get in the attic? No, that's going to not work. So all these things flash through my mind. And then Claudia's waking up. We're like, all right, what we're going to do? All right, we just better let him in because we don't want to do this the hard way. Mm. But we get halfway through the living room and then just boom, door just flies off the hinges, smashes against the wall. I can't tell you exactly how many cops were on that SWAT team that day, but it was like a small unit of an army. Yeah. And they just fan out really quickly. And all the guns, you just see all these guns just pointing right at you. Mm. So I've had a one gun pointing at me before. I had a shotgun pointing at my face before and things like that from drug transactions. But to see the whole apartment, just all these guys just fanning out. Yeah. And then you're thinking, if any one of these guys opens fire right now, trigger happy, thinks I've got a weapon, whatever, and there were weapons in the house, but I wasn't carrying a weapon on me. Mm. If any of these guys opens fire right now, I'm just mincemeat, basically.
Yeah.
So they're screaming, "Get on the fucking ground now! Don't fucking move!" All this stuff, and you just drop like a sack of spuds, and then they just crush you, handcuff you. Lead detective wrenched me up, gets in my face, and from the police reports later, I learned this guy was my absolute nemesis.
He was your rival.
Yeah, Detective Reed.
Yeah, you know his name still.
He'd been on me for years.
Yeah. What was that like?
I would go in Indian restaurants. I read in the police reports. I'd be sat at the table in an Indian food restaurant, and he'd be on the next table.
Yeah, just by happenstance. That's funny. But it must have been really unnerving to learn that they had been like kind of following you and investigating you for what was like 5 years or 6 years.
That took a while for them to give me the legal discovery, but it took months for them to hand all that over. So I'm thinking at this point, I've got no drugs in the house. Yeah, I've got guns, but I've got a concealed weapons permit. My gun's illegal. It was the police who trained me to shoot. The ex-police that trained me to shoot at a shooting range where I got my concealed weapons permit. And I'm thinking, if there's no drugs, they're going to have to let you go. I didn't understand about conspiracies. And I didn't. Once I started to see all the other co-defendants who got arrested, and then when I saw my bail was $750,000 cash only, the bond, then it started to dawn, I'm not bailing out of here anytime soon. This is a heavy situation now. So I got my charge sheet: conspiracy, crime syndicate, blah, blah, blah. They had me as the head of the crime syndicate, and serious drug offender status, which carries 25 to life. And with all those charges combined, in my second year when I was fighting it, I was facing a maximum 200 years. So the stress level from that went through the roof. I was at the point of just slashing my wrists and bleeding out and ending my life. Yeah. When I was reading the police discovery, there was numerous times people had chased me in my car. I've got a twin turbo Mazda RX-7, so I'm just flooring it and just ripping off and leaving these people from behind. Well, it got to the point at the end of it where days before I was arrested, there was a bunch of cars following me. Put my foot down, I lose them, get back on the motorway, and then they're following me again.
Oh, wow.
Same cars. But I'm reading the police reports. By then, they'd put a satellite tracking device under my vehicle.
Oh, like one of those physical trackers they stick.
So no matter how I lost them, they could locate me right away and get back on my ass.
And you also found out later that they put a virus on your computer. Is that true?
Yes, my computer was warning me, but I didn't understand it. It was saying other people are in your computer right now and things like that. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I contacted some of my mates. And one of my mates warned me, but I just didn't think it was possible. I'm not very technical with stuff like that. But in the police reports, they had software engineers from Washington fly out because of all of this stock market data I was back to trading the stock market, was overloading the program. They had to fix it. But they had a NetBus Trojan horse in my computer, which showed them all my emails and showed them where I put my money as well.
Oh, okay. And then that's how they seized all that.
They seized everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did they do that remotely, like outside your house, like in the movies, or did they literally go in your house and like physically install that virus? I suppose they did it.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
Wow. You said that the lifeblood of your rehab in prison was due to books.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if you'll know the quote, but you definitely know the author. He says, many a serious thinker has been produced in prisons where we have nothing to do but think. And that is Robert Greene, who is one of my favorite authors, perhaps my favorite nonfiction author, although you're a close second.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did Robert Greene or other authors who are no longer alive affect your ability to deal with everything that was going on in prison? Was that a slow process for you to get into books like that?